Welcome back to the Broker Room. I'm Boban, and with me today I have Kevin Mangano, our Chief Digital Officer at YBR Group. Welcome.
Thanks, Boban. Good to be here, mate.
I love it. Mate, I love the cheekiness. I love what you bring to the table. You are honestly one of the coolest CIOs I've ever met. I mean, you are, not only are you tech savvy, you understand, cybersecurity and everything else, but mate, you've also got this likable personality, mate. You could have been in sales. So mate, I love it. Tell me a little bit about, where this passion comes from. Tell me a little about your history and what you've done in the past.
Oh, mate, high praise. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Look, for me, I guess when I started in my career, I had a vision that, that technology was this magical thing, and that too often we put the ones and the zeros in front of what's actually the human interaction with technology, which is really where the rubber hits the road. So I always thought about the fact that, when it came to technology can be magical, and it should be indistinguishable from what we're doing in the background to what happens with the customer or the person at the other end. So I've always kind of carried that, as my mantra around technology. Technology should be magic, and if it's not magic, then we're making it too hard and we haven't got it right. So I've always thought about it in that light. So I guess where I started was I was a pretty dumb guy when it came to technology, and I recognised I had a big mouth, so I put that big mouth to work and just, I was working a help desk, and I wanted to help people bridge the gap between technology and their understanding of complex things and make their life easier and put their productivity back into their day. And I was very lucky and quite successful at that. And it's kind of gone from there, where it's been taking on more and more challenges in my career and looking at, what else can I do? What's the next challenge? What's the next front? And how did I end up where I am now? It's just been probably a mixture of luck, a lot of determination. I was probably a bit angry and a bit too ambitious in my career at times, but I was really driven by the fact that I wanted to be successful, and that I knew that I could bring the human voice to technology. And to me, when that happens, when you bring the human side into technology, that's when the magic happens. Yeah.
So from what I understand, you were head of security and support at Rabobank. You've had a number of senior manager roles in cybersecurity, both at Aussie. You've also done infrastructure work at UTS. You were there for 7 years. Plus, you got a master's in IT.
Yep.
Mate, why YBR, and why the change into the mortgage industry more so now?
For me, I've always liked the mortgage broking industry. Having the opportunity to work at Aussie kind of gave me my foray into the industry. And one of the things I've learned over time is that I do believe in the mortgage broking model. So when I do look at if everyday Australians want to buy their first home or their next home or their forever home, the best way to do it is through a mortgage broker, and I believe that. So, it was an easy decision to come back into the industry. The opportunity presented itself, the opportunity to work with Mark, and to, and the fact that when I spoke to Mark, he didn't want me to just do IT. He wanted me to come in and really push the boundaries with him, and he believes that technology is that enabler. It's the secret sauce behind, the magic, essentially, to really drive the future of the way people interact with their mortgage broker and the way they go about getting a home loan. So he's asked me to pick up a lot of very ambitious targets and work towards them, and that was a great opportunity. It was a great opportunity to be in the middle of that, to really get out there and really be closer to the customer once again, and really be in the middle of it.
It's funny you say that, because when you started, your title, I'll never forget it, was probably the longest title I've ever seen in history. It was Chief Information Officer and Head of Marketing and Digital, and it was crazy, right? So now it's Chief Digital Officer. It's bundled it all up, and you've brought a lot of innovative stuff to the YBR Group, I must say. You and I obviously sit on the executive team, we report to the board, and etc. Tell me a little bit about the group tech that you've brought. I want to talk about the group tech. How it's a data-driven organization, right? That's what we always say internally.
Yes.
How are we talking to our customers? What are we doing in that respect?
Yeah, it's really interesting. We're on a long-term program to renovate end-to-end every part of our process and every part of our technology to get closer to the customer in everything we do. And that's really a driving mission of ours at the moment, is to be the best the best in the industry when it comes to knowing exactly what our customers want and need before they realise they're doing it. So we talk about being data-driven. A big part of our work at the moment is understanding how much real amazing information and data sits out there in the world about lending and mortgages and property industry, and how no one is really using that data to really talk to people properly. What we're getting is a conversation that is disjointed. Yep. We see the banks constantly talking about savings because it's in their interest for people to put money in their accounts and put that in the bank, because that helps the bank then lend more money at cheaper rates, and that's a virtuous cycle for them. So they absolutely promote the idea about savings and help people being good savers. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, being a good saver is a very small part of that journey, and nobody is actually engaging with people along that journey when they go, you know what, I've finally got a job where I'm making a bit of good money, and the next step is I want to buy my dream home, get into the property market. So what we're looking to do, if you look at the way we're talking with our customers and the technology, more and more so we're creating avenues and ways for customers to engage us. We rolled out the Y Home Loans platform in 2022, which was very much about offering those people who want a digital first experience to start the conversation with us, and not needing to have to go to a brand or another location that they aren't aware of and not comfortable with. And the great part about the way we've structured it is that there's always a human behind all of this. Yep. And I know that sounds a bit weird when you go, oh, we want to be a fintech and do digital. The fact is, putting a human behind it is the most powerful thing we can do, because it ensures that anything that goes wrong along the way is fixed, that there's always somebody there to support you. But it's the way you choose to engage us. If you want to talk through a website or through an app or through through email, that's fine. And we respect how people want to engage in the conversation. It's about privacy, and it's about finding the right media that works with people. So we're offering all these different channels, but we're backing it with the expertise of our brokers.
Mate, I love that. Speaking of brokers, my next question is, I want to flip the script a little bit. We talked, about clients and customers and what we're doing for them and how we're engaging with them. What would you say to a broker that's looking to potentially switch aggregators or get into, YBR franchising? From a tech point of view, what do we offer them?
Oh, there's so much, and there's so much more coming at the moment. If I look at it, if you want to break into this industry, or you've done this before and you've struggled, YBR is the place to come, because no one is more driven at the moment to make the franchise offering the best in the business. And if I look at the work we're doing at the moment around a leads commitment program, coming in as a new broker in 2023, you're going to be offered the opportunity to accept leads for 12 months, and we're going to guarantee those leads and keep your business running and solvent for the first 12 months by making sure you've got sufficient number of leads to help you get off the ground. Nobody else is offering that in the industry.
I was just going to say, mate, that's market leading. That's huge. I mean, no other aggregator in the country is doing that, right? So, mate, that's, like I said, revolutionary, market leading, call it what you want, but it's amazing. What about more from a CRM capability point of view from, we've got YBR VAR professionally, internally. What does that do for brokers? Talk to me a little bit about that, and what value can brokers get out of it?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of the work we've been doing at the moment has been watching how the CRM has been developing. There's a lot of work going on in the background with our provider, and I'm not going to say that we've had a great 12 months with that, in terms of that journey. But I'm very bullish about 2023 and seeing the new platform come out, which is going to be a lot more modern in its approach. It's going to be a lot more extensible. It's going to take all those small issues that we've been running into in different places, and again, the feedback we've been receiving from our brokers, and it's really actually going to solve a lot of those problems. It's not going to solve everything, but we're going to get a lot closer to where we used to be, and it's going to, once again, be a really strong market-leading tool. Around that CRM, we're putting a lot more services that help support that. So, in the last few years, we integrated our leads management system, which automatically pushes leads into our CRM. Brokers don't have to lift a finger. They get notified when we find a lead for them. And to me, that's amazing. That's sending gold to brokers. Not only are we doing with leads, we're also then got additional tools integrated into it. We have third-party integrations with ActivePipe, allowing them to do their own marketing and communicate with their customers. We also have integrations with insurers, and we're also looking into the future, what else do we connect? And part of our leads commitment now is connecting up FE, so we have another pipeline if we can't generate leads at a sufficient rate, that we can purchase leads for our brokers and keep people moving forward and keeping them keeping the business coming through the door.
But there's definitely been a lot of change, positive change, I would say, from a tech point of view, absolutely, since you've come in, mate, and well done. What I really love, and what I've personally benefited from, obviously being at YBR Group, is the digital marketing and what you've done with that. I mean, we have the highest content marketing output in the industry of any financial institution, right? We had, when we did the rate rise videos, we had over 1 million views. Most recently, we've come out on TikTok as well. I remember you saying we had something like 600,000 views within 72 hours. Mate, talk me a little bit through that. What drives that, and how are you guys doing this?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, who would have thought we'd be talking about TikTok and 600,000 views in 72 hours? It's a funny space.
Agree.
But again, it's about your customer ultimately. And what are we doing? We've got a pretty small marketing team. We're pretty thin on the ground.
Pretty lean, yeah.
Yeah, we run a lean ship, but we absolutely maximise the output. And I'm really proud of what the team delivers in that space. If you have a look at the two things we've done in the last 12 months, one has been really shift to video content like this, actually putting out video content more and more so, because we know the medium has shifted from written content, from visual content to video, and we're seeing more and more people engaging with our video content. And it's about short form, long form content, about really mixing that up so then people can really, when Mark does an interview, what's the punchline? How do we get it out there quickly so people know, yep, Mark has a position, has an opinion on this. Yep. And then how do we then extend that to go, well, here's property insights. Here's a long conversation, a long form, that you can listen to on the bus on the way home or on the weekend, and you could really get an in-depth knowledge that you would never have got before from an industry expert. And it's all free. We're not tracking you. We're not asking for an email address or your phone number. It's free content that we've been putting out on our social media platforms, on our mobile apps, that is really changing the face of the way people engage.
Mate, I love that. What I really wanted to touch on, and I know you're an expert in this field, I want to understand, as the Chief Digital Officer for the YBR Group, what keeps you up at night when it comes to cybersecurity? I know it's huge at the moment. I know we've had breaches in the industry, even outside of the industry. The big one is obviously Optus. Talk to me around cybersecurity. What are the emerging threats, and what do brokers and clients alike need to look out for?
Yeah, that's a whole minefield right there, isn't it?
It is.
And look, I'll say this about cybersecurity. It's one of the most unfair disciplines and one of the most unfair things that happens in society. It's so prevalent and it's indiscriminate, and it's such a different mindset that people aren't used to it. When I think about what keeps me up at night, is about people who, people with disabilities, the elderly, people who are not digital natives, being scammed and being ripped off and their money taken away from them because of the most simple thing, that technology is in somebody's hand, in their pocket now, and it's so easy for someone to transfer money out of their account just because somebody asked them to, because somebody lied to them. And it's really scary how it's very easy to impersonate an organisation or some other, be a different person online. It doesn't take a lot of smarts to actually do it, but it's quite easy for people whose natural innate, the innate position of a human being is to trust others. That's how we make a cooperative society, and that's what people exploit. So when I think about it, I worry about my dad. I worry about other people's parents. I worry about young people coming online who don't know the rules, who are recreating the rules every day. Now, if I think about our industry, though, the thing I would like to, the thing that keeps me up and up about YBR and brokers in our industry is very much about, at the end of the day, it's about discipline, and people are too willing to share their passwords. People are too willing to go, I'll save a few dollars on licensing and I'll just share my account. And what happens when that is the standard you hold in terms of your cybersecurity position, if that's the lowest point in your whole security posture, then you are an easy target. And for someone like me, I'll take you to the bank any day. I'll take your money, I'll steal your customers, I'll take your credit cards, I'll take your identity. And that's easy pickings. It's because people make it too easy. And we, in the financial services industry, in a regulated environment, we got to get so much smarter. We got to get a lot more paranoid, and we've got to be a lot tougher on what way we go about our business, so we protect those people who entrust us with their identity, with their financial information every day to help them achieve their dreams. Because isn't that the saddest story?
It is.
If you go in and your hopes and dreams are buying a home, and the result is that you've had your data breached and your identity stolen and money's taken from your account.
It is indeed.
Isn't that a horrible thought?
It is. It is indeed. So how do we protect the businesses? How do we protect the brokers? What do we do?
Yeah, I think it's about making sure that you think about the economy of cybersecurity. At the end of the day, it's like buying insurance for your car. It's not a matter of if but when, and making sure people accept that.
Yeah.
I got up at our national conference and I said, I'm not here to try and evangelise cybersecurity and good cyber practices anymore, because if you're not doing it, you shouldn't be in this industry. And I'll stand by that, and I'll say that to anyone. Don't care how good of a loan writer you are, how big your book is. At the end of the day, if you're not actually protecting your customer and your business, you shouldn't be in this industry. So what should people be doing? Getting tougher on themselves, being more disciplined, and getting the basics right. We're still at stage one, which is stop sharing passwords, stop having simple passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, do all those simple things right, and you will go a long way. Be skeptical about the emails that come into your account. And for brokers, especially running small businesses, don't mix your personal time on the internet with your business time, because that is a really easy way to poison your business. Letting your kids use your laptop, giving somebody else access, letting somebody else use your email account, clicking on stuff while you're not watching. While it seems to be,
it's all pretty easy stuff, isn't it? It's very
it is. It really. It's just about just having that discipline and that mindset that, you know what, I need to be smart about this. Like if you worked in a corporate bank, you wouldn't let your kids use your laptop, would you?
No,
or your
correct.
tablet or anything else.
So why would you do it?
With your own personal business?
Yeah,
and I think that because people don't know the stories and don't see it every day and don't see it's really hard to relate to someone who's had whose business has had a cyber attack or a breach. It's really easy for people to go, it's not going to happen to me. The sad thing is that computers are indiscriminate, and that I guarantee you every day, every single IP address on the internet gets scanned by some hacker. Every day.
Well, Kev, thank you for those wise words. I really appreciate your time today. That is all we have time for. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, mate.
Thank
Love
you.
it.